I'm going to attempt to get all 195 achievements in the Mafia franchise. That's the 2020 Mafia remake and then the definitive editions of 2 and 3. Starting us off is Mafia 1. Fun fact, it was originally a 2002 game that looked like this, but was remade spectacularly in 2020. Mafia 1 has 43 achievements, all coming from the base game. Without further ado, let's jump into it. We start out in a cafe, with the main character Tommy Angelo telling a story to a cop. We then cut back into the past, where Tommy is just doing the rounds as an everyday taxi driver. All of a sudden, these two guys show up with a gun and tell me to drive. We have to drive through the city to evade some other dudes chasing us. Eventually, we lose them. After that, we find out that the guys are working for a mafia don and we get paid off. I got a trophy for completing the mission. Later on, we are just doing some more driving when two of the rival gang members come and beat us up. We run all the way back to where we dropped the guys off and they help us before offering us a job. This earned me another trophy. I was a little bit pissed off, so me and one of the mobsters, Paulie, go off to destroy the rival gang's cars as payback. On my way, I got stopped by the cops and had to pay a fine, earning me the trophy Lined Pockets. Anyhow, we go and blow up some cars before returning to the Don and applying for a permanent position. Completing the mission earned me a trophy. I also found a cigarette card which earned me another trophy. In the next mission, we go out and just do the ordinary routine. By that, I mean we go and beat up helpless small business owners along with delivering some alcohol. If you don't know, in the 1930s when this game is set, there was prohibition, meaning alcohol was illegal, which is why it's our main income stream. One of the businesses we go to has made a little pact with the rival gang. Paulie, one of my friends, gets shot. I have to run into the house and gun down a few rival mobsters before pursuing some who are fleeing with a bunch of money we are owed. I catch them eventually and get a trophy. I also found a pulp magazine for another trophy. After that, the Don tells us that he wants a certain race car driver to lose because the rival Don is betting on him. We go to the racetrack to steal the car before driving it across town to a mechanic who will destroy the engine. On my way, I got caught and was arrested for a trophy. This part was really difficult because there is a time limit, so you basically have to have a perfect run. Anyhow, I did it, but the mission isn't over yet. On the day of the race, we are told that the driver that the Don is betting on broke his arm, so we have to compete in the race for him. This is probably the most infamous mission in the game because it is borderline impossible. There are countless Reddit threads of people saying it took them over 3 hours. I tried and tried, but just could not complete this mission. Luckily, there is a glitch you can use. Basically, when the race starts, you go in the opposite direction and crash into the other racers, causing a massive pileup. It took me over an hour of trying, but I managed to do it, and I got 2 trophies for winning the race and completing the mission. The next mission was a nice change of pace. It was super easy. All I had to do is walk the bartender's daughter home. Yeah. On the way, there are some thugs trying to get to her, but we beat the shit out of them. As usual, I got a trophy for completing the mission. For the next mission, the Don decides we should go and beat up some of the thugs who are causing trouble. We go see some of the thugs, and things get real ugly. We murder like 20 people, it's kinda crazy. It's a fun mission, and I got a trophy for it. Unfortunately, one of the guys saw our faces and survived. The Don also wants to send a message to a business owner who is allying with the rival gang. I go to the very reputable establishment and blow it up. I then head to a church where they're having a funeral for one of the guys we murdered. We shoot up the place and kill a guy who saw us and survived. We then escape in a massive car chase, which is really fun. I got the trophy Murder in the House of God for completing the mission. After that, I did a little bit of open world stuff. First, I went and just shot a bunch of cops and a bunch of innocent people, which got me a 5-star wanted level. I then fled and hid for a while, which got me a trophy. I also lockpicked 5 cars for the trophy Car Enthusiast, and I saw a motorcycle and did a wheelie for 3 seconds for the trophy Stunt Rider. For the next mission, we have to go and pick up a large shipment for the Don. When we get there are cops and members of the rival gang, run by Don Morello. Sam, one of our guys, gets shot, so we have to defend him and then escape from hordes of police officers. We manage to escape and get Sam to a doctor for a trophy. In the next mission, we are told by the Don that Frank, the guy who does the finances, has betrayed us and given our books to Don Morello. I am sent to go and kill him. I find him leaving on a plane with his family, and I manage to catch him. We talk for a while, and he says that it was only to save his family. We let him go and lie to the Don, saying we killed him. I got 2 trophies, one for completing the mission and another for finding a copy of Gangsters Monthly. Next up is a super boring mission where we just sneak into a guy's house and steal something from his safe. At least I got a trophy. After that, we go to smuggle in some booze from someone in a parking garage. Morello's boys find us, and there is a lengthy shootout where I commit 71 felonies. After that, there is a car chase and I earn the trophy Best Laid Plans. Later on, we learn that the government has ended prohibition, meaning the whole alcohol smuggling trade is worthless. This basically starts an all-out war between the two gangs, both trying to take over other industries. In the next mission, the Don's driver calls in sick, so we have to drive him out for lunch. While we're there, we get ambushed by some of Morello's men. They shoot up the entire restaurant and we only just manage to escape. The Don deduces that it was the sick driver that gave us up, so we pay him a visit. Completing the mission earned me a trophy. Now that the war between gangs has truly commenced, we need to send a message to politicians, cops, and judges on the side of Morello. To do this, we sneak onto a huge steamboat where a senior counselor is celebrating his 50th birthday. Right as he finishes his speech, I put a bullet between his eyes, and in the chaos, I escape on a speedboat, earning a trophy. After that, we go to assassinate Morello's brother, who controls the city docks. This mission was incredibly difficult. 1, because there is a motorbike chase, and motorbikes are way harder to drive than cars, and 2, because there are so many men trying to stop you, and so many directions you can be flanked from. Anyway, I chase him into a train depot, and this happens.
What did I tell you? No one can touch me. Wait. No!
Doing that earned me a trophy. After that, the Don decides that it's time to put Morello himself down. We catch Morello going to his car, and then chase ensues. He makes his way to the airport and gets in his private jet to escape. We take our car out onto the runway and shoot out his engines. The plane glides for a while before crashing in a field, where we are waiting to finish Morello off. Killing him earned me the trophy Creme de la Creme. A few years later, our gang is living the high life. We basically rule a city. Unfortunately, this guy decides to run for mayor or something, and he promises to crack down on gangs. So we sneak into a tower and shoot him in the face with a sniper rifle. Within minutes, we have hordes of cops coming after us, which made this mission very difficult. You have to fight through them and then get in a car and lose them. On one of my attempts, I was shot getting in a car. However, I did get the trophy Quite the Collection for collecting 15 vehicles. If you don't know, every time you drive a new type of car, it goes into your garage. Anyhow, I completed the mission and as usual earned a trophy. For the next mission, we are set to steal some crates of diamonds from the docks. This mission was fucking awful because you can't get caught and the stealth in this game is abominable. Anyway, we did it, and when we get back, we realized that we were lied to and it was actually weed. This makes us pretty pissed off, so Paulie and I agree to rob a bank and run away from the Don. Completing the mission earned me a trophy. In the next mission, we actually go and rob the bank. The mission was pretty quick, but really fun. We just walk in, take some hostages, and then run. We decide to run away the next day with our families, and I am to meet Paulie at his apartment the next morning. Completing the mission earned me another trophy. And now for the final mission of the game. We head to Paulie's apartment only to find him with 2 bullets in his head. Shortly after, we get a call from Sam, who is calling to warn Paulie that the Don found out, but it was too late. He agrees to help us, so we go meet him at the town art gallery. When we get there, it turns out he double-crossed us, and in order to gain favor with the Don, he's gonna kill us. This makes us very unhappy, so we rampage through his man before inserting many 22 caliber bullets into his torso. Completing the final mission earned me 3 trophies. 1 for completing the mission, 1 for completing the game on easy, medium, or hard, and another for completing the game on classic difficulty. Before heading into the free ride game mode, I had to hop into the racing mission with Mission Select. There, I got a trophy for driving a drunk Paulie to a strip club. After that, I went ahead and found all 5 of the hidden cars around the map. To do this, you just have to go to the mechanic who will tell you where they all are. Getting them all earned me 2 trophies. Following that, I went and completed some other challenges to get a few more cars so I could get the trophy for having 30 vehicles in the garage. After that, all I had to do was find all the remaining collectibles. Doing this got me 6 trophies, bringing me to 42 out of 43 trophies. For the final trophy, I had to jump into the Bolt Ace, the slowest car in the game, and try to reach a speed of 50 miles per hour. This actually took me a few tries, but I got it, earning the final trophy. There's the first game done. That was a phenomenal experience. Let's see if Mafia 2 can top it. The sequel is set in the 1940s and begins with Vito, the guy we play as, and his friend Joe getting caught by a cop while stealing something. Joe gets away, but Vito is arrested. In order to avoid prison time, Vito joins the army to fight in World War II. In the first mission, we actually play as Vito fighting in the invasion of Sicily. Not a lot happens, although I do get to shoot like 50 Italians with an MG42. Anyhow, after about 10 minutes of me trying to figure out the very strange control layout, I progress and a cutscene plays. Essentially, the Don of the town just tells the Italians to stand down, so they do. Cool. Completing the first chapter earned me my first achievement. A little later on, Vito gets shot, and then he gets a month's shore leave where he is reunited with Joe. In the few years that we've been away, Joe's been busy and he's in bed with the Mafia. He has some connections, so he gets us some honorable discharge papers forged for us so we don't ever have to go back to the front lines. After that, we go visit our mother and sister. Also, our dad's dead, but he was a dickhead anyway, so we don't really care. The next morning, we see our sister being harassed in the alleyway by our house. Naturally, we kick the guy's head in, and then our sister tells us that she and our mother owe $2,000, which in today's money equates to roughly 2.4 fuckloads of cash. Protecting our sister earned us an achievement. We go to see Joe and decide that to get out of this perilous predicament, we must become a car thief. So, Joe takes us around for a bit and I jump a fence to steal a luxury car. I get caught and have to shoot a couple of people, but I manage to escape with the car unscathed. We then take the car to some guy called Mike who buys stolen cars and he pays us $400 and he also offers us more jobs in the future. Selling my first car earned me an achievement. After that, I drove back to crash at Joe's apartment. I may have committed a few crimes on the way, but when I got there, I got the trophy for completing Chapter 2. At the beginning of the next mission, I got a call from my mum telling me to go and find some work at the docks. She doesn't know about this whole mafia thing. I tell her I will, and I go see this dude at the port. He says he'll pay me $10 for stacking a bunch of crates, but I'm not having any of that bullshit. I tell him I'm friends with Joe, and he gives me the job of collecting fees from the workers. I just had to walk around taking money, and I also had to beat the shit out of one guy. Doing that earned me $100 and an achievement. While driving, I crashed and somehow got a trophy for getting all 4 wheels of my car in the air for at least 20 meters. For the next mission, I need to break into the Office of Price Administration to steal some ration stamps. There were a few guards in the building and I killed some, which got me a trophy for killing 50 enemies. I also found a collectible for another achievement. For a missable trophy, I had to obtain the ration stamps without raising the alarm. It took a few tries, but I did it, earning the trophy, The Professional. After that, I had to drive around and give the ration stamps to gas stations for some cash. Also, the guy running these places is a damn hard worker. I went to 6 gas stations and every single one was run by the same guy. When I got back to Joe's apartment, the trophy for completing Chapter 3 popped. In the next mission, while robbing a jewelry store, the cops show up. We make our way up to the rooftop and then climb along a ledge to escape. At the end of the mission, $1,000 is added to my account and I have to drive back home. On my way, I thought it would be fun to get the achievement Hard to Kill, which only 3.5% of people have. To get the trophy, you have to get to a point where you have a 4-star wanted rating and then you have to survive for 10 minutes. I was pretty lucky with this one, the achievement popped literally seconds before I died. As per usual, I got another achievement for completing the mission. One time when we're leaving Joe's apartment, we see one of Joe's girls in an argument with some man outside. We decide to help the lady out. I immediately pulled a gun on the guy and shot him. For some reason that didn't make me progress. Turns out I had to actually beat him up. Can you blame me though? I mean, the game just said teach him a lesson, and I don't think he's gonna do it again. Helping her out earned me an achievement. After that, I get told to assassinate this fat dude who screwed with the crime family somehow. I then go pick up an MG42 from an arms dealer and we head to an apartment across from the fat dude's factory. Unfortunately, we are seen and are forced to chase the guy into the factory. We fight our way through a bunch of guys before getting to the boss and shooting him everywhere. Before he died, he got in a shot at one of our guys, so we have to rush him to a doctor while avoiding the cops. When I completed the mission, I got a trophy. I also got enough money to pay off my family's debt, so I do. At the beginning of the next mission, there are cops outside my house and I get arrested. Turns out one of the gas station attendees ratted on me for the ration stamps and I get sentenced to 10 years in prison. This mission reminded me a lot of the Shawshank Redemption movie. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's what the developers had in mind. This part of the game was quite the drag, but essentially we get into a few fights and join a prison gang. We make friends with some powerful people and they manage to get our sentence reduced massively. Eventually there is just a time skip to where I'm out of jail. Completing Chapter 6 earned me an achievement. The next mission was so fucking awful. Basically, to celebrate my release, Joe wants to go out on the town for a night. Things don't exactly go to plan, and we end up burying a dead body. Yeah. The worst part was that the game crashed at the end, so I had to do the entire thing twice. When I finally did it, I got an achievement. After that, Joe and I go and sell some illegal cigars. We make a bunch of cash, but then some rival gangsters come and blow up the truck with a Molotov cocktail. To get revenge, we and a bunch of other guys head to a foundry armed with Tommy guns and rifles. We must get everyone inside, and while doing that, I got an achievement for killing 5 enemies with a headshot in rapid succession. And of course, when I completed the mission, I got an achievement. At the beginning of the next mission, we find out that 3 of our guys have been kidnapped by a rival mafia. They're being held at a slaughterhouse and we are sent to rescue them. I do just that, and then we have to fight about 15 guys with Tommy guns and shotguns. We use our plot armor to murder them all and then throw the rival mafia don in a meat grinder, which is exactly what I'll do to you if you don't subscribe. And no, I'm kidding, don't ban me YouTube, please. Anyhow, after that, I was completely covered in shit from climbing through the sewage system, so I headed to the tailor and bought 3 luxury suits, earning a trophy. After that, I went to see the rest of the Mafia, and they welcome me into the family, and I become a fully fledged member of the Falcone crime family. I feel like I say this a lot, but completing the chapter earned me an achievement. After that, a cutscene plays, and we basically just see Joe and Vito get insanely rich, and then for the start of the next mission, I wake up in a huge villa. For the next mission, we go to murder the heads of the rival gang. To do this, we sneak into a hotel posing as cleaners and we plant a bomb in their conference room. We detonate the bomb, but unfortunately, the Don was in the bathroom and survived. We have to chase him through the hotel and then through the streets in a car to kill him. Eventually, we do just that, and on the way back, I decided to get 2 trophies for upgrading my car to the maximum level. I also accelerated to 125 miles per hour for another achievement. Unfortunately, during the mission, we lost one of our guys, so Joe is pretty upset and he goes out for a drink. In the middle of the night, we get a call saying that Joe has gone crazy at a bar. Because he's blind drunk, he accidentally shoots the bartender, so we have to hide the body and then destroy the evidence for 2 trophies. In the next mission, we are told that some guys from our gang are going to go and pop Leo, the guy who helped me out in prison. Our loyalties are conflicted, but we decide to help Leo escape. We go and warn him before taking him to the train station where he leaves town. There was actually a missable trophy here for not getting caught while you're with Leo, so I made sure to do that. After that, we go home for a nice rejuvenating sleep. Unsurprisingly, it doesn't go that way when a bunch of idiots torch our house with Molotov cocktails. We manage to escape to Joe's place, and he gives us some stuff, and then we go find the men who did it at a bar. We murder them all, and I got 2 achievements for completing the chapter. In the next chapter, we meet up with our friend Henry. He has the bright idea of becoming full-on drug dealers. We are in desperate need of some cash, so we agree. First we go and take a loan of 35 grand from some guy, and then we head to pick up some weed from these Chinese dudes. On our way out, we are ambushed and have to fight off around 15 men. We manage to escape, and then we go sell the weed for a bunch of cash. As per usual, completing the chapter earned me a trophy. While at Joe's place, we had a call from Henry saying the Don found out and he wants a cut of 60 grand, which we do not have. We go to meet him at the park, but when we get there, he is being sliced to pieces by the Chinese blokes who sold us the weed. We are understandably pretty pissed off, so we head to Chinatown and absolutely massacre all the Chinese blokes. When we get to the boss, he tells us that Henry was a government informant, but Joe doesn't believe him and shoots him in the head. Completing the mission earned me an achievement. At the start of the mission, we're in desperate need of some cash because we still gotta pay the 65 grand to the guy who loaned us money. Joe says he has a job, so we go and do it. This part was actually really cool. We go and assassinate Tommy from the first game. It was us. It's actually a pretty cool way to connect the games, but I kinda hate Joe and Vito now. Killing Tommy got me an achievement. After that, we head to the docks to try and make some money. We get paid to shut down a strike by the workers, and while there we find out that the owner of the docks actually murdered our father, so we switch sides and kill him and all his men. It turned out to be a worthwhile endeavor because he has $27,000 stored in his office. Killing the dockmaster got me an achievement. And I also got an achievement for driving 30 different vehicles a little later. Following that, I go to find Joe, but he's not there. I go to investigate and we find him at a restaurant kidnapped by the rival gang. After we massacre the Chinese, they thought the gangs did it, so there is basically an all-out war brewing. We managed to rescue Joe, but he is badly hurt, so we're taken to the doctor. Completing chapter 14 earned me an achievement. For the final mission, we are called to meet the Don at the planetarium. On our way, we are stopped by Leo in his car, and he tells us that if we kill the Don, the other gangs will let us go. We agree, and when we get to the planetarium, we fight our way through as men. Eventually, we get through, but we are met with Joe with a gun to our head. He is still loyal to the Don, but at the last second, he has a change of heart and we kill the Don. We head back to the cars and we are ready to go and relax. Then this happens.
Hey, what the hell's going on? Where they taking Joe?
Sorry, kid. Joe wasn't part of our deal.
And then the game just ends and 3 achievements pop. Now it's time to get the remaining 10 trophies in the base game. First, I use Chapter Select to go back and get the trophy for selling all of the gas stamps before the timer runs out. I also got a trophy in one of the first missions of helping an old lady fix her car. After that, I got 2 trophies for finding all of the collectibles. In the game, you can sell expensive cars to a guy named Derek, and any car to a guy named Mike. There are 2 achievements in this game for selling 5 cars to each of them, so I did that for 2 achievements. I then got the trophy Cruise Control for keeping a vehicle over 30 miles per hour for 5 minutes. I also had to drive 50 miles in one vehicle. To do this, I hopped in my favorite sports car and drove back and forth across the main bridge. The next achievement took me 2 tries, but it was nonetheless pretty fun. I simply had to rob 5 stores in 5 minutes. For the last achievement in the base game, I just had to kill 30 people in a fist fight. I'd already killed like 25 from just playing, so it was pretty easy. Alright, the entire base game done in 25 hours. Hell yeah. The first DLC I'll be doing is Joe's Adventures. It has 10 trophies and it's basically about what Joe was doing while Vito was in prison. There are 4 story levels and a bunch of other missions in between in which you just have to go and steal a car or kill someone, etc. In the first mission you see Vito being arrested and then you have to go and make sure that the chief witness is unable to testify. Along with the achievement for completing the mission, there is also an achievement for pushing him in a lake, so I did. After that, I had to do a bunch of annoying missions before getting to the second story mission. In that one, I just had to fight a bunch of guys in the docks in order to start a train or something. That also earned me an achievement. Following that, more pointless missions ensue, and then we come to the supermarket mission, where, you guessed it, we have a gunfight in a supermarket. Right after that, we play another mission where we fight our way through a not-so-reputable establishment. Doing all that earned me a total of 3 achievements. For the final 4 achievements of the DLC, we simply have to get a certain amount of points during a mission for performing specific tasks like speeding, drifting, etc. Alright, only 10 achievements remaining. The Joe's Adventures DLC only took around 10 hours. I'm sure Jimmy's Vendetta will be similar. Jimmy's Vendetta has 34 missions and I have to do every single one. Not only that, but this DLC has quite possibly the worst achievement I've ever gotten. You have to drive 1,000 miles in the DLC, which is just insane, but we'll get to that later. The first mission only lasted around 2 minutes. All we had to do was escape from prison, and upon completion, I got the first achievement for completing my first mission. For my second mission, I just had to blow up a few cars, and during that, I got a multiplier of 10 times, which earned me an achievement. After that, I went on completing missions, but I was also trying to get every gun in the game because there is a trophy for killing an enemy with each gun. In the DLC, there is an achievement for killing 100 enemies with a headshot and destroying 100 cars. I found the perfect spot with 3 enemies and 3 cars, so I could literally just farm this over and over again by resetting the checkpoint. I wasn't recording for the 100 headshots, so I'll add that to the counter. And here is the 100 vehicles. After that, I went to 3 different shops to acquire all 15 weapons. Wait, I just got it after I threw a Molotov cocktail at some guy. What? Okay. This video is getting pretty damn long, so I'll just skip over the rest of the DLC. Until the last trophy, that is. After getting most of the miscellaneous trophies, I played through all of the missions and earned 4 achievements for finishing all the car deal missions, finishing all the missions, earning 1,000,000 total points, and killing 1,000 enemies. Now all that remains is the Explorer achievement, for which you have to drive 1,000 miles, or roughly 1,600 kilometers. I don't know who decided it was a good idea to put this achievement in the game, but whoever it was needs to be prohibited from going within 500 meters of a development studio ever again. There is a glitch to get it, but you have to leave the game open for 40 hours straight, so I decided to just get it over with and do it legit. I found that the best way is to just get the fastest car in the game by linking your 2K account and then driving back and forth across this long bridge in the city. So I buckled my seatbelt, chucked on some Netflix on the second monitor, and roughly 8 hours later, the achievement popped. Yo, there it is, we got it. Fuck yeah, my god, that sucked. There you have it, another banger of a game added to the collection. Now it's time to jump into the world of New Bordeaux in Mafia 3. For the first hour or so of the game, they really just set up the main character, Lincoln Clay. The game is set in the 60s, and Lincoln is a black man. Not a fun time. When we meet Lincoln, the first thing he does is visit his brother, an old man, right after returning from the Vietnam War. Just like in Mafia 2, we learn that our families in debt needs quick cash, so we get involved in a bank heist. One of the guys organizing the heist happens to be Vito Scaletta from the second game, which is pretty cool. Anyhow, we end up pulling off the heist and making millions of dollars, but then we are betrayed by Sal Marcano, another Dom we're working with. He shoots us along with our brother and father. We somehow manage to survive, and this is where the game really begins. We set out to avenge our family's death and take over the entire city. After about 2 hours of gameplay, I finally got the first achievement for going to the old house and collecting my stuff. Shortly after, we go to a house and meet a lady called Cassandra. She has a lot of underground connections, and it is here where we are really introduced to how the game works. Compared to the first 2 games, Mafia 3 isn't very linear. There are different rackets run by crime bosses, each with different industries. We can take over rackets by either killing the boss or recruiting them. To get all the achievements, I had to complete 2 full playthroughs, one where I kill them all and one where I recruit them all. For my first playthrough, I'll be recruiting them, which is a little more difficult. In order to recruit them, I require some kind of dirt on them, which I can get by wiretapping junction boxes in the area. After speaking with Cassandra, she agreed to help us kill Mr. Marcano, and I got an achievement. The first racket I went to take out was a certain type of club where individuals pay for the pleasure of another individual's company. Yeah, I think I'm still monetized. For this one, you actually have to kill the racket boss, but it doesn't count towards the achievement, so that's okay. It's not until the next racket that we actually learn to wiretap junction boxes. When I did learn, I got an achievement. To weaken a racket before you take out the leader, you can take out some of his higher level goons who are in different places. While working towards recruiting a racket boss, I did just that, earning an achievement. The next mission is a lot more linear. We go to an abandoned carnival grounds to assassinate one of the guys who took part in killing my family. We have to fight our way through a bunch of dudes to get to him, and when we do, it doesn't end well. We tie a rope around his neck, attach it to the Ferris wheel, and send him round, hanging him. So remember Vito Scaletta from the second game? Yeah, he's actually a pretty big part of this game, which is fucking cool. He's been doing some business with the wrong people and he's been taken hostage, so we rescue him to get him on our side. We convince him to help us kill Marcano, earning an achievement. While going towards my next objective, I stole a police car for a bit of fun. Little did I know, it was actually an achievement. After that, I went on taking over rackets and flipping the racket bosses. At one point, I met up with a dude called Donovan, and there was an interesting visual glitch. It's like the hat in Mafia 2. Anyhow, I gave old mate Vito a hand hunting down someone who screwed him over, which earned an achievement. Following that, I continued with the main story. We have to recruit one more guy to our cause, and his name is Burke. He's drunk half the time, but he knows his shit and will no doubt be an asset. I got him to agree to help me kill Marcano, and then in exchange, I helped him kill one of his enemies for 2 achievements. Now that we have 3 associates, it's time to bring them all together. We set up a meeting in the same place with each one. They each get quite a shock, but we make it clear that we're in charge. We then lay out our plan, which is to pick off Marcano's lieutenants before going for him. The first guy on our kill list is Tony DeRazzo, Marcano's bookkeeper. On the way to the meeting, I actually spun out and got an achievement for making a 180-degree turn at high speed without hitting anything. To get to Mr. DeRazzo, I have to screw up the construction and blackmail rackets, which I gladly did. We learn that he's in a hotel, so naturally we go in guns blazing, murdering every man in sight. We eventually get to him and throw him out the window, earning an achievement. Now we have to choose who to assign the entire district to, either Vito, Cassandra, or Burke. Whoever we choose will be loyal to us, but the others will get pretty pissed off. It was an obvious choice for me. Vito's been the man from the beginning. I've loved him since Mafia 2. Well, there goes one of Marcano's lieutenants. To get the next one, I had to take down the garbage industry and the guns industry. We then give the Lieutenant Enzo a call, and since he prefers to take the stairs, unlike his bald colleague, we cut a deal. We meet up, and it turns out he was friends with our father, so together we reminisce while blowing up a quarry. Linking up with Enzo got me an achievement. One of the next rackets is the slavery racket, run by a certain clan that enjoys dressing in white robes. You actually can't flip this racket boss because being a black man, Lincoln isn't too keen on the whole white supremacy thing. Luckily, this boss doesn't count towards the achievement. Every time you take over a racket, you get one of your associates to send in a cleanup crew. It's really funny though because more often than not, the AI just runs over anyone in their way. Before doing any more racket stuff, I decided to do Donovan's missions. Donovan is an ex-CIA guy who served with us in Vietnam. He's been helping us out throughout the game, so we agree to help him with a little side project of his. For the first mission, we have to find a guy in a hotel. There was a huge gunfight and most of the people are dead, but we managed to find some information. Investigating the scene got me an achievement. We find out that this guy who Donovan used to know, called Aldridge, is stealing CIA information and is heading to a CIA safe house as we speak. We try to intercept him, but we're too late and he gets away with a bunch of sensitive information. The guy Aldridge is working with a bunch of communist mercenaries and they ambush us. We get to use a super cool vehicle with a turret during a car chase and I got an achievement for destroying 10 cars. I also got an achievement when we escaped the mercenaries. For the next mission, we actually leave New Bordeaux and go to an island where a stolen nuke is being held by Aldridge. This part was actually sick. First, we take out a mercenary camp and interrogate the leader. Then we find the facility and fight our way through until we get to Aldridge and put a bullet in his head. Finally, we secured the nuke and got it back to the Pentagon. I really enjoyed that whole quest line and I got a bunch of achievements, so that's nice. After that, I went and killed a guy named Remy Duval. He was part of the white supremacist gang and killing him got me an achievement. Following that, I went to kill Olivia Marcano, Sal Marcano's cousin. We do so by drugging her bodyguards and then shooting her in the stomach. On the way, I got an achievement for killing an enemy within 2 seconds of kicking a door open. As usual, I put Vito in charge of the district, which got me an achievement for reaching the loyal state with one underboss. Right afterwards, I had to kill a corrupt judge for yet another achievement. They just keep coming. One thing I'll say about this game is that it overstays its welcome. Flipping bosses and taking over rackets is fun and all, but it's pretty fucking annoying doing it for the 13th time. Anyhow, while taking over the smuggling racket, I got an achievement for having $150,000 in my bank. I needed some information on Marcano, so I tracked down a dude and killed him for an achievement. Now, for one of the achievements, you need to finish the game with only one associate left. To do this, I need to piss 2 of them off till they betray me and I can kill them. I did this by giving literally everything to Vito. Burke was the first one to leave, so I killed him first. The last guy we have to kill to get to Mr. Marcano is his brother, Lou. Lou is doing a fundraiser thingy on a massive boat, so we blow up a huge structure as it's passing by, causing a massive crash. We chase down Lou and slit his throat for an achievement. I assigned his district to Vito, which pissed off Cassandra, so just like Burke, we headed over and killed her. I didn't get an achievement for it, but I will later. After that, I accidentally went and started a DLC mission. I got an achievement which I'll add to the counter now, but just know that it's not part of the base game. It was actually pretty annoying because I had to drive around 3Ks to get back, but on the way I did get an easy achievement for driving at 120 miles per hour for 20 seconds. Before doing any more of the main story, I had some side quests to attend to. First, I completed a side quest in one of Vito's rackets, which would allow me to maximize the earn for the racket. All I had to do was steal a truck and drive it a kilometer or so. Doing that allowed me to collect over $10,000 in revenue from the racket for an achievement. I couldn't resist another quick hit of dopamine, so I went swimming in a river and got eaten by an alligator for an achievement. Right afterwards, I killed someone and fed the body to an alligator for another one. Back to the main story, we need to get to Tommy Marcano, but to find him we need to get to a guy called Alvarez, a counterfeiter that he hired. Marcano doesn't want him talking, so they're trying to kill him, leaving his rescue up to us. We keep him safe and sound for an achievement. By the way, apparently Mr. Marcano hired a bounty hunter to kill me, so I jammed a knife through his throat. To get to Tommy Marcano, we join a fight club that he runs and win the fight. When we win, we're brought to him and seize the opportunity to pour some gasoline on him. You know, just to be nice. Unfortunately, Ligon has butterfingers and drops a lighter on the ground. Not a great end for Tommy. With that done, we can now go and complete the final mission. Remember how I killed all of those underbosses other than Vito? Yeah, here I got the achievement, just you and me, for keeping a single underboss alive until the final mission. Speaking of the final mission, we head to Sal Marcano's casino. Okay, I was gonna go in stealthy, but it seems that option's going out the window. First, I killed Georgie, Marcano's son. Shortly after, I made my way up to Sal Marcano himself, and we had a drink of scotch. We actually had a lovely conversation, which ended with me plunging a knife into his chest. The final thing I have to do is decide whether to leave the town and start a new life, run the city by myself, or run the city with Vito. I'm a loyal guy, so I win, and together Vito and I ruled New Bordeaux. Now we have a problem. Remember those achievements for flipping the racket bosses and informants? Yeah, I did exactly that, but no achievements popped. I did some research and it turns out that there are a total of 9 achievements that are completely bugged. The only way to get them is to play the entire game in one sitting, which takes over 20 hours. You cannot close the game and you just have to pray that it doesn't crash. I might have done it, but considering that the game crashed well over 5 times during my first playthrough, I just can't be fucked spending the time and energy to get achievements in a game that the devs couldn't be bothered to code properly. There are still a bunch of DLC achievements, but I just don't have the drive to play through a game knowing I can't get 100% completion. If you guys really want to see it though, I might go back and do it. I hope you all enjoyed the video, thank you so much for watching, now go check out this video where I platinum Shadow of War. And make sure to drop a like if you want me to do the Mafia 3 DLCs.